Hello, and welcome to the Cab Talks Tourism. Our show today is going to be featuring Art Station in Stone Mountain Village, downtown Stone Mountain. And we have Liza, Jaine with us. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into actually the current topic.
Sure. I am a professional actor. I'm a member of Actors Equity, and I've been in professional theater since 1987, if I'm going to date myself. I started working, in fact, Art Station gave me my first equity contract when I moved from Chicago to Atlanta. I did The Marvelous Wonderettes for them and loved it so much. I think I've done at least one show there every year since.
Oh, wow.
And I absolutely love the community there. And I am a film and TV actress. I've done a bunch of commercials. I also run an acting studio called Actor 360 Studio, and I'm the operations coordinator for Art Station.
So first, where'd you live in Chicago?
A couple of places. Ended up in like the Lincoln Park area, which
Yeah.
I loved. Mm-hmm.
Well, my couple jobs back, I was Northwest Indiana. Like my office is in Hammond,
Uh-huh.
and then I lived in Cherville, so we ate, slept,
Yeah.
breathed Chicago.
Yeah. Oh, I loved Chicago.
So what type of movies?
I've done the most recent one that I did was called Small Group, which was a feature film, a Christian film, which of course down in Georgia we have a lot of that. That's a big industry, and it did very well. I was very proud of it. And I have also done a movie called Mama Jenny and the Brooks Boys, which was based on a woman in the Civil War who was dealing with the fact that she had 8 sons, and most of them were being conscripted into fight, and she didn't necessarily want them to. And I've done a handful of others that were super fun TV-wise. I did Queens, which was an ABC show. I've done If Loving You Is Wrong, which is on the Oprah Winfrey Network, and Being Mary Jane, which is on BET. I was also the on-set reader for the show Average Joe on BET.
Got to get you on Will Trent.
I've been working on that one.
Or now that Tulsa King has moved
Yes.
to Atlanta.
Yeah, I would love to audition for that.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool. So let's dive into what we're here to talk about. Tell us what how you got to Art Station from being an actress, and now you've moved into doing operations, and you've just started about a month ago.
Yeah. This is a new position for me. It's not a new position. It's a new position at Art Station. It's not a new position for me. I've run several studios in the past, so this is just kind of expanding it to include their studio spaces, their art gallery, and their theater space.
So give us an overview of what Art Station is for anyone that doesn't know about it.
Oh, yeah. Art Station is a fantastic space that provides quality arts programming to the community. We have 2 gallery spaces for artists and we do some student shows, and we do a lot of local professionals where you can go in and see the art and purchase. We have a full equity theater space where they do at least 4 equity productions every year, and it's a fantastic space. And then in addition to that, we have the classrooms. In the classrooms, we have a small black box theater for theater classes. We have a dance studio, and we have a full art studio. We also have a pottery tent in order to do pottery classes. So it is a fully functional school and performance venue for the community. And in addition to that, we have rental spaces, whereas any of those spaces can be rented and used for whatever you need it for. We've done weddings, we've done photo shoots, we've done, sorority get-togethers, things like that.
And it's a great space. I mean, the theater, like we had Stephanie Stuckey, and it was a perfect venue because, she was speaking and then asking questions. We've done other type of meetings there, so it's just a wonderful thing. So all the opportunities you can use the theater for, this is perfect for a meeting or an environment that needs a tiered facility with a key stage for your speakers or multiple speakers.
Yeah.
And in your boardroom, or I call it your boardroom, it's your
the library.
it's a large space
Yes.
for having different types of meetings in there. So it's a great location, right downtown.
Yeah.
A lot of food around you.
Yes. Yeah, wonderful restaurants. There's Cherokee Rose. Yes, absolutely. And then we also have, just in the last few years, we developed the Trolley Barn Cabaret space, which is a smaller space, but it's perfect for a cabaret act or a small band or improv or comedy. That is just a super fun space. And of course, we have the bar in
I was
order
gonna
to
say,
go with
I
all those
remember
things.
the cabaret and the little seating and the
Uh-huh.
bar and all. Very cool. You have a gift shop.
We have a
you're
gift shop.
open 7 days a week, 6 days a week?
We are open 6 days a week.
6
We are
days a
closed
week?
on Mondays. Yes.
Okay, well, I was going to say you're closed on Sunday, but you're closed on Monday. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So, one word you keep using, equity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't I mean, I know what equity means, but what does it mean pertaining to what you're talking about?
Yeah. So the Actors Equity Association is the union for actors across the country. And in order to, once you join that union, you have to work in an equity space. And ArtStation has worked very hard to maintain the level of quality and pay rate and safety and all the things that are required to maintain equity status, which is not an easy feat, especially for a smaller space. And the fact that they have dedicated time and energy and resources to that, I think, speaks to the quality of their programming.
Oh yeah, you hear glowing remarks about their theater productions as well as their special events. So let's dive in right now to the current show you have going, Wild Women of Winedale.
Yes.
So tell us about that and how much longer, or when does it start and when does it end?
Yeah, so we opened last week. Our opening night was Friday night, and we opened to rave reviews and just absolutely hilarious. Everyone thought it was the funniest thing ever. The Wild Women of Winedale, yes. And we run for one more week. We had a matinee today, which I'm sure was sold out because we always sell out our matinees. We have a Thursday night, a Friday night, and on Saturday and Sunday we have matinees. And on Friday night we're having date night, which is you get if you buy 2 tickets, you get a discounted price, and you also get a free drink.
Nice.
Yeah. Now you do need to call the box office to make that happen.
So you can go to dinner downtown Stone Mountain and go over and have your date night.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Very, very cool. So that's going to be going on for another week.
One more week. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what's coming up after that?
After that, we have the musical I Do, which will be in, I believe, April, May. And then in the late summer, we will have A Dog Story, which is, we're going to have lots of puppies.
Oh. So you got to bring your dog to the event.
I don't know that we're going to have dogs at the event, but yes, if you love dogs, that is definitely going to be the play for you.
Now tell us, I know my favorite event you do is actually the ghost tours.
Oh, yeah, the Tour of Southern Ghosts.
Tour of Southern Ghosts,
Absolutely.
yes.
Well, of course, we're going to do that again this year.
Yeah, we're glad that came back. That was on a hiatus for a little while.
Yeah, for COVID, definitely we had to put that on hiatus. But yes, that is back, and we are excited. We have a few new things planned. It is going to be a huge event, and everyone needs to come and see that. And I know that people fly down in order to see that event. Thousands of people every year. So yeah,
Tell us
that's
a little
one
bit,
you don't
don't give anything away, but tell us a little bit about it for people that don't know about it.
Sure. So we take you on a tour of the area around, and we tell you the stories of the town of Stone Mountain and the ghosts that are there. And there was quite a bit of action scene in the past in Stone Mountain, and it can get a little spooky and it can get a little funny, and for the most part, and it does have historical value. So it kind of ticks all the boxes.
When they're in costumes.
Yes, 100%.
So it fits very well for the period.
Mm-hmm.
I love those because I actually developed a couple for when I was in Columbus, Mississippi. So that one just hits home. Love it. And then you, of course, end in the gift shop.
Yes, of course.
And you can buy your own ghosts to take home.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if one hasn't already attached to you.
True.
Mm-hmm.
But then you might want a box for the ghost anyway.
Yes,
so.
it needs to have a home.
So I just thought that was an interesting gift shop item. So that was very cool. So that's the main one I know of, obviously, but what's the other things you have going on?
Well, our biggest thing that's coming up is Raising of the Green, which is
Yes.
on St. Patty's Day, which this year is March 17th. So it's on a Sunday from 6 to 10 p.m. And this is it's such a fun event. There is music and there's complimentary green beer. All the complimentary green beer you can drink. And we have silent and live auctions. And we auction off a lot of really incredible things that you might not get other places. For example, one of the things that is always popular every year is a 5-course meal for 8 people in a private dining room at a local winery. So wine pairings for everything. It's
Nice.
yeah, right. ArtStation, of course, will do a season ticket pass with things, and we have local restaurants that donate. And then we also ask, and if this is something you're interested in, we always ask for donations of new or antique collector's items that you would like to see auctioned off or that you would like to donate. And so that is what's coming up next. We're very excited about it.
So that's your biggest premier activity. It is a fundraiser.
Yes.
For the nonprofit ArtStation.
Yes.
So it's a fundraiser, but it's a fun event.
Yes.
You can get involved by having the items, so your name is attached to anything being auctioned off.
Correct.
So there is a nice, cool marketing, publicity, and tax write-off for those activities.
Yes.
But then you get to go as a participant and have a great time. Free green beer.
Free green beer.
Great time to socialize. You have that where?
That is at ArtStation.
So it's in the main theater or through the whole building?
It's through the whole building.
Okay, so you basically take the whole place.
Yes. Yes,
around.
we do. It's all decorated, and there's live music, and it is just a lot of fun.
So about how many people attend?
Hundreds usually. But throughout the whole evening, we usually will have hundreds of people.
So you really don't. Theoretically, you don't cap it off, because who wants to attend can still get a ticket and attend.
Oh, yes. Yeah. We still have tickets available. They are selling quite quickly, but yes, we still have tickets available. And you can check out the website in order to, which is artstation.org. To get tickets to that, and we welcome you to do so. We do have to cap it at some point because only so many people can get in the building. But right now, there are still tickets available, and we hope that everyone will come.
So they go to artstation.org, and they can purchase the tickets. They can find out all the information about it. And if they're interested in donating something, you can call,
absolutely. Please call ArtStation. Please call. It's 770-469-1105, and that will and we will take that off your hands.
Love that.
Yeah.
More and more items, the better.
Yep, absolutely.
Plus, it's just more fun for the people attending. You got more things they can bid on.
Yeah, and we usually have between 300 and 400 items to auction off, and we're well on our way there already. So we are always looking for interesting things, and not just things, also services. Things like if your business is a massage parlor or a mani-pedi or if you're a personal trainer, those kind of services also do really well for us and, help market your business.
Very much so. Yeah, that's very cool. So tell us about how you think it's going with and how important the film and entertainment is to Georgia. You kind of alluded to it with especially the Christian movement of films. Just overall, what do you think about film in Georgia?
Film in Georgia has brought a much needed revitalization to Georgia, just financially. But as far as an artist goes, it's been fantastic. There is an influx of artists that are now coming and seeing Georgia as a premier state in order to pursue their art, and not just actors. The tech people are moving here, the directors are moving here, producers are moving here. Costume designers, people that run set shops and sell lighting equipment. I mean, all of those businesses are moving to Georgia and trying to get into the, DeKalb area, into the Atlanta area, into Stone Mountain in order to capitalize on all of the film and TV that is going on here. And we are seeing every year growth in that area. Of course, having Marvel use us as their center of operations really helped put us on the map, but it really started with Walking Dead, and that exploded, and it was such a hit that more and more things started to come here. And you have Tyler Perry Studios, which produces, I think, for considering the size of it, it produces so much content constantly. BET produces almost exclusively here. I mean, you have all of these studios that are consistently producing here. The new Assembly Studios that was just built is a huge lot, with an outdoor street setting, with all kinds of office spaces. And all these businesses are continuing to do well so that more and more are being built. I think film is here to stay, and I am so grateful for it because it has brought the, for me, the acting community to a position to where you can live like this.
Yeah.
You know, it is, yes, we all still have our survival jobs. That's part of being an actor. But you can be primarily an actor in Atlanta, and you used to only be able to say that in New York or LA.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's a win-win for all aspects of the economy
Mm-hmm.
here in Atlanta, in DeKalb, in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
It's bringing in such a diverse group of people, and we're working more and more on getting the entire creative class to be here in Georgia. That's kind of the component that is somewhat missing right now. They shoot it and then it goes back.
Right.
So if we can really dive in and getting the actual shooting and then the editing and all that here in Atlanta, here in DeKalb, and you mentioned Assembly, because Assembly is very cool because they've got there's New York, Paris, New Orleans, and then kind of another funky part of New York, all in that stretch.
On that street. Yeah, each little section looks different.
Yep.
It can be a different time period, a different city, and it's very cool how they designed the whole thing. And even the buildings that they built to be offices, they were thoughtful in how they designed those, so that if you need the uber high-tech glass building, they have that. If you need the old school brick office building, they have that too.
Yeah, and each of those city streetscapes are actually like full-size rooms. So it's not like just a wall and there's nothing. There is actually like space behind each of those, and then they have the huge big space for the actual production. So it's an unbelievable facility. It's going to, once it's really up and fully running, it's going to be doing tours at nights, weekends, and holidays. We're working on a lot of other developments out there.
Yeah.
So with the film, and we actually have a big film meeting coming up on May 23rd, I believe, to talk about film and entertainment and all, to get more involved and get people more involved. So it's a great thing. We're very excited we can be part of it as well, just from a Convention Visitor Bureau standpoint.
Well, and for the tourism industry, the amount of hotel space, the amount of, the restaurant business, from all that, everybody who works on the set has to stay somewhere and has to eat. So it is, it's wonderful business for DeKalb.
You were talking about, the activities that you can get involved in. So you mentioned Marvel and Black Panther. I just found out actually on a podcast that one of the jewelers for Black Panther is down at Black Wall Street Marketplace in Stonecrest.
Oh, great.
He actually has developed jewelry for the Black Panther movie, and I thought that's pretty cool. You can even get into things like that.
Yeah, no, there's so many jobs on a set. Whenever when people talk about the businesses that the film industry brings to Georgia, they generally think actors.
Right.
And it's like, well, that's actually the smallest group that is coming over here. The tech department and the craftsmen and the crew are huge. And then you have the businesses around for the specialty things that each thing needs. The jewelry, craft services, which is, the food that's on set. Those are of course all local. So there's so many jobs. The reason why the Marvel credits take like 15 minutes to get through is because all those people were necessary to make the film come to life.
Well, I think we talked about before the show started. Just to think about Tulsa King. It was based in Tulsa. It's still going to be, the concept is Tulsa, but it's now moved to Atlanta. Yeah.
Well, and I think, jumping off of that, one of my favorite things about what is happening currently in especially television is that things are now not just shot in Atlanta to look like Tulsa or shot in Atlanta to look like LA. They're shot in Atlanta to look like Atlanta, which means that Atlanta is now seen as a driving force. Will Trent takes place in Atlanta. Of course, the show Atlanta obviously took place in Atlanta, and more and more, we're in the middle of pilot season, as it were, and the scripts that are coming in, they're set in Atlanta. And that's very exciting because that wasn't the case. It was always Atlanta to look like something else. And so
Dynasty, I don't know if it's still on or not, but
Dynasty was canceled.
Okay, but it was based on Atlanta, in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So that was very cool. Someone kind of alluded to Will Trent being the Yellowstone of Georgia. Yellowstone for Montana. It's kind of like our Georgia show.
Yeah, to me currently, yes, that is.
Might have been Walking Dead at the beginning. As it
Walking
started
Dead was
here.
and now of course they traveled right through it, but it started in Atlanta. That was the whole point. Yes, but yeah, Will Trent as a network show, as one of the bigger budget shows that is filmed here, and the fact that it has. It was based on a book series, which was already extraordinarily popular, I believe, by Karen Slaughter. And then it has a very specific aesthetic that I think is kind of a chef's kiss to Atlanta, with the way that that's shot. And they are using, they're using Atlanta as it should be. They're using it. The diversity of it. They're using the different neighborhoods. It's not just one neighborhood. So yeah, Will Trent is doing wonderful things for Atlanta. And having him and the female lead both coming through the foster care system and the challenges of that. Yeah, we're showing a different side and showing coming through it and succeeding on the other side, which I think is important. There are plenty of shows who will show like, oh, going through the foster system and it has destroyed your life and here you are at the bottom. And that's not to me, that's not what Will Trent is trying to do. They are trying to show, hey, you can have dyslexia and you can have been through the foster care system. And yeah, you may be still struggling. You may be still trying to fight for self-improvement, but you can be successful. You can be good at your job. You can be respected in your industry, and I find that very compelling.
Oh yeah, I think it's great. It adds to the show because it is a human interest side of it besides just watching a cop show. So it's very cool. Well, let's focus back on to ArtStation. Have you all had any movies filmed there?
That is a great question. I don't believe so. I know that there was an episode filmed there. I
guess I would think TV. But,
right. Yeah. Well, but not fictional. I believe there was a reality TV something or other that was filmed there, but I cannot remember what it was. But it is a great space for that because, of course, it was an old, trolley barn, right? It was old, and we still have a lot because it's a historic building. We still have a lot of that going on, and some tributes to it inside. I would love to see it used as a location. I would love to see all of Stone Mountain Village used as a location.
Yeah, downtown, the village is still very historic. Eclectic. Your building alone is with it brick, and it still has that look and feel, and even the inside has kept to that theme and feel. So yeah, you really, it's almost like you can step back, which in Atlanta is not that easy to do.
Yeah,
it's like you can step back in time in Stone Mountain Village.
Yes,
I mean they've purposely kept it and restoring it correctly for the whole town. So it's very cool to be able to use that time period.
Yeah, it holds the aesthetic of that time period and keeping it while, Stone Mountain is a thriving city. Stone Mountain Village still feels very quaint. It still feels very small townish. So you get the best of both worlds.
Well, I know the facility has a wonderful gallery with changing exhibits. What's going on right now?
Yeah, so we have 2 exhibits right now. The first is Contrasts by Sharon Crumley. Gorgeous exhibit. We're very excited to have her. And then the other one is Blue Spheric by Armando Chacon. And that is a very unique form of art, and I want everybody to come and see these incredible artists and the things that they can do, and those will be up, I believe, for 1 more month.
Okay, so both of them are going to be up for another month.
They'll be up until the end of this month. The second week of April, we'll have our new exhibit opening, and you should definitely check our website. If you're not on our newsletter, if you don't get our email blast, please go to artstation.org and sign up for them so that you know when these things are happening. But we will have a new gallery opening with our new show the second week of April.
Nice.
Yes.
And it's not too far from summer. So what are you doing with summer camps?
Oh, yeah. So we have our children's summer camp, which is an award-winning summer camp. We're very proud of it.
Nice.
As opposed to some other summer camps, we are all day, which I know helps. As a mom, I know that helps parents. Whenever I get a summer camp, and of course they can be pricey, and they end at like 2. I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
So ours goes from 9 to 5. We have before care, we have after care, and we cover the entire range of art for these kids. We do arts and crafts. They do pottery. They do dance. They do music. They do dramatic arts, which is just your theater games. And then this year, we're actually implementing film so that they can have a little bit of exposure to cutting things together and seeing what it looks like as a finished product. We are very proud of this program.
So what's the ages?
Oh, that is a wonderful question. It is, I believe, 5 to 13.
Okay.
So we do a wide range. We do try to split it up into 3 groups so that ages are with ages, and that our instructors who are, top of their field in Atlanta can focus on what they're ready for in those specific age groups. One of my favorite things about it is because it is so family oriented that we find we'll do a show and it works so well that we'll either remount it, or if it has a sequel or it has a series of the same show, we will do it again. So I end up working with the same people, the same actors in the next show or the next year. And that rarely happens in theater. In theater, the joke is you have new best friends every 2 months because you go and you rehearse for 3 or 4 weeks, and then you perform for, 3 to 5 weeks, and then you kind of go your separate ways. So the fact that ArtStation has created a space where the same actors will come back and work together year after year, that doesn't happen. I can't focus on that enough. That doesn't happen. That is an amazing thing that ArtStation has created, and I love them forever for that. I have not only this community on the production side, but I have these actors as well who continue to come back, and I get to work with them, and they are family.
Very cool. That's true. You would think that they would be more transient, so that's very cool. You can do that. So now I've got to ask. I mean, you're an actress. You've done a lot of different things, but do you know of anyone that's gone to that superstardom like a Stallone or a Will Trent, whoever he is?
Well, for the Atlanta theater community, Danielle Deadweiler is the one that we look to right now, local.
So you're going to tell me about him.
Danielle Deadweiler. She was a local Atlanta theater, and she did the movie Till. For which she was nominated for many awards.
Wow.
She's done many things. Alexis Louder is another who has gone from Atlanta theater through and is a series regular. Bethany Ann Lind, also Atlanta theater, who has gone forward. Jessica Mizell, again, totally. I mean, musical theater, just like me, and she was she was Nurse Jessica on The Resident for every season.
Oh, okay.
So every year there are more and more stories of Atlanta actors who are at the top. And the best part about it is, for the most part, all of them stay. They stay in Atlanta because, again, you don't have to leave. Things are being produced here. And the fact that you can provide your own housing ends up being a boon. And even LA has had to admit that you can get that talent in Atlanta. You don't have to bring it in.
Well, and the other thing is telling the locals that you have that opportunity. You don't have to go to LA or New York to make it big.
That's right.
So that's very cool. I've got to ask my wife who any of these people are. But, very, very cool. Well, Liza, thank you for being on the show. We appreciate you being here. We hope that the arts and the fundraiser?
Raising of the Green.
Raising of the Green is a huge success. We're looking forward to all your activities. I'm definitely looking for the tour of Southern Ghost. So thank you for coming on. We appreciate it. And thank you.